Well, that's Herbert for you, a balding guy in his 20s who has specs on. No prizes for guessing that he works in the IT. But anyways, he's an avid gamer and he once told me that he wears those specs because of excessive gaming. And you know what? He occasionally sneaks into this place to get a chance to play those children's games which he used to play when he was 5. He has challenged me for a game of Mortal Kombat, which we are going to play now, and let's see who wins that one. So Herbert here is as big a fan of Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe as I am. Now imagine the concept, it's such a brilliant concept. They take cartoon characters out of DC Comics and they pitch them against the characters from Mortal Kombat, which is a fantastic combination. And in fact, you can make Superman fight against Superman. So Herbert, who's your favorite character in this?
My favorite character is from Mortal Kombat, which is Sub-Zero.
Why is it Sub-Zero? Why do you like Sub-Zero?
Sub-Zero because the powers that are there and the brutality, that's like once you finish the game, there is something called brutality and fatality, which is really good. And like the latest game of Mortal Kombat, did you play that?
Okay, wait, you sound like the physics lecture that I had in school.
Okay.
Make it simpler for me. First of all, tell me, how long have you been gaming? How long have you been, is the specs and everything a result of that?
I would say yes, because from the age of 8, that's like when I was in 3rd standard, my father got my first system. I've been playing ever since, and the first game that I played was Prince and then Mortal Kombat. So my relationship with Mortal Kombat goes to over 10 years.
So that means that I should be a little scared of you challenging me for Mortal Kombat, right?
You must be already scared.
I wasn't scared, not a bit. In fact, I was planning to make Herbert talk and reveal a few cheat codes in the process.
There's actually nothing called cheat codes, there's something called special moves. Like each and every player has a special move that he can perform on a certain game. That's like you have 4 different controllers here, that's the X, square, triangle and 0. Basically in all the games what you do is triangle and square are used for punches and circle and X are used for kicks. So in all the games that you come, regardless of that being Mortal Kombat or DC Universe or that being a game like, let me just say, Street Fighter, you end up using these keys and making special moves. And for every player, you have a list of it.
And in Mortal Kombat, you have a fantastic special moves because the graphics are so nice that different player has a very, very different set of special moves, and they could throw you on the ground, they could freeze you, they could break your neck, they could tear you apart, they could do anything. And because Herbert here looks so formidable that I should be scared of him, I'm going to tell him that no matter which character he chooses, I'm going to whip him up. So what character do you think you're choosing here?
I'll be taking Scorpion.
Scorpion?
For a change, because I don't want to take the best player and defeat you. I would rather take a weak person and take it.
So you would take Scorpion. So you know what I will do?
Yeah.
I would in fact say that anyone can beat Scorpion. Even you can beat Scorpion. To prove that point, I'll take a character which looks like you. Okay. And I will beat Scorpion.
Mortal Kombat gives you a variety of heroes to choose from and expertise on your keys, and any character can practically beat anyone. But I was in search of a character that looks like Herbert. There you go, Lex Luthor. Doesn't he look like an angry and muscular Herbert?
Before we start, if you could just pause it there, I would give you a fair deal. Okay. We would play, because I know I can beat you in one game straight away. So we'll give you an option of playing 3 games. Let's play a best of two best games out of 3. Right?
That's a fair deal.
Cool?
Yeah. So what do I
play
get for
3 games, and whoever wins 2 wins it, and whoever doesn't just goes back with this one.
Round 1 began in style for Scorpio. Even before my Lex Luthor could find his feet, he had received a strong kick on his chin. Scorpio's policy was you miss, I hit, and even a moment's lapse was not allowed, as Scorpio unleashed a barrage of attacks. But Luthor was not one to cow down. An evenly matched first round, and finally, Luthor wins.
I'm sorry I had to pause that because I had to ask you how you're feeling now. You're very confident, very sure that I will beat you and Lex Luthor, who apparently
It
looks
happens,
like you.
it's just a video game. It happens all the time. Like even the best people.
Don't give me that. Now, all these, I'll tell you a thing about all these avid gamers, okay? They'll be super enthusiastic about the game that they play. But if you do beat them in the game that they're good in, they would come out and say it's just a video game, right?
No, seriously, it's just a video game. It's just one round. There are 2 more rounds left. I'll obviously win it.
Okay, there are 2 more rounds left and he says he'll obviously win it. Now, this is a very fast-paced game. Before we get on to the next round, I just want to know, what do you think about this? This is the newest version. This is Mortal Kombat, the newest version. So, have you played this as well? What do you think about this?
I've not played the full version. I just played the demo in it, in which I could select from 4 characters. Actually, the difference between the previous game and this is we have a character called Kratos in it. Have you heard about Kratos? Yeah, he's one of the most famous characters for any Sony game player, and I feel bad for the Xbox players because they don't get it. It's an exclusive for PS3, and that's one reason why I'm going to spend for it.
Okay. Now tell me something, Herbie. Now there are games, certain games which have a very beautiful story in them, and then there are certain games which are just fighting. Say for example, if you take a SmackDown or a Raw, there's just fighting. But if you take something like a Mortal Kombat, there's a definite story behind it. So what do you like? Do you like going for games which have a story behind them? It's a nice interwoven story. Or what kind of games do you like?
Yeah, it adds to the amount that I pay. Like I'm going to pay a lot of cash for it. So when I get a story mode also, it's an added advantage for me. And taking into consideration the story continues in Mortal Kombat. It just takes off from the place where Armageddon, that's the previous version of Mortal Kombat, ended. So it's actually a bonus and I'm eagerly waiting to play it.
Eagerly waiting to play it, and I am eagerly waiting to beat you in the next 2 rounds. So we'll just get started with that. We won't waste any more time.
Yeah, sure.
Second round, a must-win for Scorpio. Mortal Kombat is a game where gore and violence has taken a completely new meaning. Scorpio shows exactly what I mean, as it was revenge time and Herbert had the last laugh.
Allow me a bit of overacting. I have lost the second round.
I told you I'll beat you.
Yeah, it's very easy when you take a character who is super lucky with his moves, and you know,
You told me anyone can beat
just moving
Scorpion.
some fingers
You just
on them.
told me anyone can beat Scorpion, and now you just lost him.
Well, there's one more game left, so we won't waste any more time. And because this is my show, I won't let him talk. So we'll move on to the next round, and this is the final round. So whoever wins
We'll
this,
see. We'll see.
whoever wins this wins it.
I chickened out by saying that there's one more round left, and that began in style. Luthor unleashed his super move, Breathe of Fire, that left Scorpio jarred and immobile. Scorpio had no answer to Luthor's firepower until Scorpio finally charged hard. When both were almost out of their breaths, with this strong kick, it was Luthor who was the last man standing.
So Herbert was claiming that he had been playing Mortal Kombat since he was in 8. But today, fortunately or unfortunately, you would call it unluckily, his Scorpion got beaten by my Lex Luthor. Well, but what you can do is you can send me your feedback at feedback@ndtv-hindu.com, and you can openly challenge me for any game. And if you win, you get exciting prizes to play games at free here in Blur. So send me your feedback, and before I sign up for this particular segment, here is your crazy gamer's bite of the day.
Crazy gamer Lijo Joe says, my friend and I went to a gaming center and paid for an hour. But the minute we got to the machine, we found out how the timer was fixed and reworked the timer, giving us a gaming time of 4 hours instead of 1.